I can't see the forest through the trees. Sorry.
Oh.
3, 2.
What's in the car?
There's enough time to.
Like and subscribe.
I think.
Hey everyone, welcome to Zeitgeist Cells. I'm Major.
I'm Robby.
I'm Chip.
That all I have to say is Wonder Man, more like Wonder Bread. I forgot that last night, so I thought I'd lead with that. If you are confused by that comment, listen to our podcast from last night.
Yes,
Yeah.
coming out very soon. If you haven't already subscribed, we are
Editor
putting
will
out
probably
content.
link it up in the
Daily.
corner somewhere.
Absolutely. We'll throw a YouTube card up there. But before we dive into Top Hat, aka The Penguin Episode 7, just one piece of news I really want to talk to you guys about. And that's everyone's dream come true. What if I was to tell you that we're getting rid of Game of Thrones Season 7 and 8? What if I told you we were going to replace that with a movie? What if I told you HBO has greenlit a movie
Game of
to
Thrones
replace season 7 and 8?
It's just going to continue from where it left off. Or something.
Mm-hmm. We're just gonna get the goodwill back. Like, dude, how are you gonna get these characters back? Are you gonna de-age everyone? Like, is George R. Martin? Did he write some kind of time forward? Like, what is happening? I don't even understand the logistics behind this, and I'd really like to, for anyone in the comment section, to please explain how this is even gonna happen. Matt, you are probably the most invested out of anyone. Thoughts on a movie? Thoughts on replacing 7 and 8? Does this give you hope that we can replace the sequel trilogy of Star Wars? What is happening here?
So unless this is like a 29-hour movie, then I have no hope for it. Even if it's a 3-hour movie, you're not going to be able to get through 2 seasons worth of lore. And I think that's kind of the problem I had with the last season. Is D&D tried to rush it to get to the final point.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the issue with the writing, was a lot of it's like, let's go from A to B to C to D to E. Here we're already at Z all of a sudden. And it just felt rushed and it felt forced. And amongst the other problems, nobody liked it. So you're going to do it in one movie, maybe in like 4 or 5 movies. But you need a lot of hours to cover the lore of George R. R. Martin. Because it's not straightforward. There's way too much nuance and stuff built in and stuff to refer back to. Look at House of Dragon. Look at House of Dragon season 2. Nothing happened in season 2. Nothing happened in season 2 at all, and that was 8 episodes, all an hour long.
Bro, that was so boring. You are 110% right. Which is why I ask you, would this change your mind or opinion whatsoever? What if I told you the director? I'm not saying this is happening, but what if the director, hypothetically, was Denis Villeneuve from Dune 1 and 2. He was able to take Frank Herbert's masterpiece and condense it down into parts 1 and 2. Do you think this genius could once again condense book 7, which doesn't exist, and condense it down to a season, and 8 into another movie? Because, dude, like, if they're going to take the last Harry Potter movie, they're going to take the last Hunger Games and the last
how
Twilight
they split the movie up
and split it. Yeah, there's no way this is gonna be one movie for 2 seasons, right? This is gonna be at least one movie per season. But this is at least a little teaser. So
I don't.
That's reasonable.
You can get any director on this. I just don't think it's feasible, and I think this is Max or HBO or whatever you want to call it now, trying to get the nerd fandom to come back to their platform after they, did them so poorly with House of the Dragon.
If it's not gonna be viable, what's your dream director? And I'm not saying the best. I'm saying who would make you come watch it? Would that be Tim Burton? A Tim Burton's Game of Thrones? Would that be a Zack Snyder's Game of Thrones?
I would
rather chug bleach. Where's a bottle of bleach? I'm chugging. If Tim Burton fucking does Game of Thrones, I'm not watching little stick figures
Yeah.
running around. I like Tim Burton. I love him. He's great. But no, I want to see eyes gouged out, heads chopped off, limbs torn asunder.
Alright.
That's what we want.
This is
We
going
want
to come
blood.
from left field, and this is only semi-serious. But can you imagine Game of Thrones done by Guy Ritchie?
Like what?
I mean,
Guy Ritchie?
God, I mean, did
Guy
he make
Ritchie?
did he make a good Robin Hood? I feel like he made a good Robin Hood movie.
It was decent, but
So could
like
he
I'm
tackle
thinking of
this
his
time
older
period?
stuff. His older stuff, you know. So
Well, that's the problem, Matt. It's his older stuff. So he's no longer that young,
yeah,
inspired
yeah.
director.
Now he's
You know,
a furloughed,
people peak.
experienced Sherlock, 2009.
Yep.
Imagine
But look
if he did season 1 and then Ned just pulled like a whole like Sherlock Holmes and like saw the
Okay.
sword coming down
Okay.
and he like slowed down time. He like calculated, he like kicked people in the knees and he like poked people in the eyes. And then he ran away.
I don't hate it, but
Bitch.
I also think that whole modern approach is a little. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of
Wait
that.
for it.
Like,
Wait for
where
it. If we did this in slow motion, like I said before, but then we took a modern
Or we
rock
killed the
song from the
DC
90s
fans.
and did an acoustic cover, I think we might be able to give Matt
Hmm.
an actual stroke when he watches it. That's a great callback for the longtime listeners who know that Matt hates slow acoustic covers of 90s songs that have plagued the media the last 5 to 7 years. It's been truly atrocious.
So what about David Fincher?
it's been bad.
Is
David
he-
Fincher, Game of Thrones.
Is he not canceled?
I don't even know anymore. Don't even know.
No, because you know what? I feel like we already got a David Fincher, right? We already got a David Fincher Game of Thrones, and that's season 8 when whoever the fuck becomes the king at the end of the guy in the wheelchair.
Brand the Broken.
Yeah, Bran the Broken, right? That's our Fight Club. That is our Tyler Durden moment right there. No, I don't think David Fincher. What about a David
Come on, like
Attenborough?
Mindhunter?
A David Attenborough, I could get behind that. Here we
David Lynch. David Lynch's Game of Thrones. You would have no fucking clue what was going on.
Just goes backward. What about a little Ridley Scott? That'd be fun. But I think it's time to stop diddling around. We need to stop waddling towards the main topic. The reason why all you guys are
A penguin.
here. The penguin.
God,